So this piece is my reflection growing up raised as a Filipino American and also raised as a Catholic. I grew up feeling shame with masturbation, like I'm sure a lot of people do. And basically, that shame can be a very oppressive tool. And the title of my piece is apparently slang for masturbation. I just found that out while I was researching synonyms for masturbation. I will not be literally bashing Salvatore Joseph Cordileone in my piece. The things he has said would make me want to. Nor will I be demonstrating the figurative act of bashing the bishop. The title of my story is called Bashing the Bishop. Those of us raised to be religioso and forced into the 7 sacraments know the most awkward part of being a Catholic. Actually, for me, it's a toss-up with having a flare-up of hyperhidrosis during the Lord's Prayer. Anybody else? Any Catholics feeling that too? No sweaty hand Catholics in the house? The other awkward piece begins with, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." This is my first confession. 13 years old and in 7th grade, 16 years ago. I had more than enough sins to confess as a pubescent youth pleading my first penance. The simple act of recounting your laundry list of sins to regain a ticket to heaven makes the Roman Catholic Church the most convenient religious gang to claim. That still didn't mean I wanted to describe the minute details about what I stole, what cuss words I taught my younger sister, why I fought with my nana and tatay, and I sure as hell didn't want to elaborate on things I did that should have made me lose my vision or made the back of my hand hairier than a cape. There's so much guilt you face at this age when this impure act is the physical embodiment of hearing Electric Relaxation by the Tribe Called Quest or Fall in Love by Slum Village for the very first time. But elaborate is exactly what Father Frank asked during my first time in that dimly lit confessional room. But of course, I kept it as vague as A.C. Slater's ethnicity on Saved by the Bell. And Sally went to college, and that's where we saw him fighting for Chicanos ladies. But elaborate is, I did not expand on how I would stay up late, sneak into the living room, and turn to Channel 68 to watch the pixelated adult film stars and Howard Stern, watching Kendra J, Janine, Houston, Devin, and other stars from the San Fernando Valley who have since gone on to become fixtures on VH1 reality TV. Or how I would time my parents' trips to the grocery store with my brother and sister also gone to ransack my dad's stash of 70s and 80s porn. Finding those giant VHS boxes tucked away underneath piles of clothes in the upper shelves of my parents' closet was like finding the Holy Grail. My sanctuary was minimum day Wednesdays in junior high when no one else would be home until 3:30. Now that I tell Father Frank about the dub videos I secretly recorded from the living room VCR, free previews of Showtime and Cinemax men grabbing the TV guide to finding any movies labeled adult, and waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning to manually record films to add to my personal collection. Ninja techniques were needed to get through puberty as a 90s kid, and not to get caught by my mom and hearing her shriek, "Sus Mario Sip." Nowadays, all I would need as a 13-year-old would be a high-speed modem and a Google search. Of course, through all of this, the result ended up being the younger me being conditioned to have a warped sense of the female anatomy. I kept it real for Father Frank, real concise. I did impure things with my dad's impure videos. Short, to the point, and quickly steering away from the topic by emoting stronger guilt for always fighting with Kuya Mark. 5 Holy Marys and one Our Father later, I was back at home scheming on how I would have access to my pop's collection again. But that's how you do as a force-fed Catholic. Taught religiosity, not spirituality. Institutional doctrine rather than a personal journey towards building a relationship with the higher power and the higher self. The Catholic Church is a funny institution. An institution declaring the higher moral code that makes you feel like shit for eating meat on a Friday. I mean, how can its own rank and file profess from its patriarchal pulpit when its own low compass is shot? Blasting a reproductive right to choose as a moral abomination and dooming all same-sex relationships, all while keeping child molestation on the down low. I mean, I'm not sure how much I learned as a Catholic, as a teen. Looking back, all I can recount are a handful of rote memorized prayers, and that if I were to love myself, if it meant touching myself, it would mean burning in hell. So I moved on, unlearned a few things, and began to challenge what it meant to reclaim love for myself. Thank you.